Hi there. Let's talk about attention. Attention is a word that gets a lot of attention these days, and it's become so common for all of us to hear something like the attention span of people is going down because of social media. But while it may or may not be true, we will discuss that in another segment. But let's understand first the mechanism of how attention works within our brain. So in 2007, Posner and Rothgard, two scientists, they identified a specific pattern, but they could not identify any specific pattern of the different areas of the brain that go into the process of attention. But they found that across people, three things happened every time attention was needed into some stimulus. So the first thing that happened was alerting, the second was orienting to the stimulus, and the third was making the executive decision needed to deal with that stimulus. So before we get into the three steps, let's understand what is attention. So what is attention? Now, attention is something we give to a stimulus. So if I hold this up, this is now drawing your attention. So this is a stimulus, and your sensory organs, especially the eyes, have now tuned into this. Now, if it stays on this, you will now start to process something about it. What is this? What can it do? Why is it being held up? So this is what is attention. So it is about, it has been defined as the capacity of the brain to focus on one small stimulus and process it while being surrounded by many other stimuli at the same time. It is fundamentally coming from the thought process or the belief system that human beings have a limited amount of processing capacity, and we use that to navigate our environment. Therefore, attention is given to specific stimuli which make sense to us at that particular time. So now that we understand what is the process of attention, let's understand the sub-processes that are involved. So the first thing is alerting. So if there is a sound, right now when you're listening to this, if there is a sound outside, I can hear, car honking on the road. That is the alerting that happens. If I clap, this is causing you to get alerted that there is something happening in your environment. And to maintain this alertness, we will need a particular neurotransmitter called norepinephrine is called. I'm not very familiar. I'm not very good at pronouncing these names, but it is called norepinephrine. And it helps us to maintain this alertness throughout. So now that I have clapped, but I have started speaking other things, your attention has shifted. But if I clap again and again, you will actually stay on that. And that to maintain that, it requires this neurotransmitter. And if this neurotransmitter is not functioning, our attention goes into different types of stimuli. So you can see it will keep shifting between the things. So somebody speaks behind you, you look at that, somebody is doing something, or your own thought process will start to create new stimuli for you. So your alertness is actually low. If you're very alert, it means you're able to keep your attention on one particular stimuli for a given duration of time. Now, after getting the sound, so suppose right now you hear a crash outside. Immediately, you are trying to figure out, like your head will turn, you will try to figure out where is the sound coming from. And then you will try to visually look at that particular thing. You might even leave this section and go out and stand there, and you will say, okay, where did that sound come from? Let me figure it out. So that's called orienting your senses to that particular stimuli. And this orientation is controlled by a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. And if you are not able to do this orientation and to fix your visual organ into that direction, it is typically also one of the characteristics associated with autism. So we know that people with autism do not easily interact with the environment, do not orient themselves to the environment all that easily. After we have oriented ourselves to a stimuli, so now we went out and we saw that the roof, a part of the roof has fallen down, it fell down, and it also broke some of the garden pots or garden, uh, something in the garden also got damaged because of that. So now all these stimuli have come to you. Now you have to do the next part of it, which is called executive attention, which is now you have to start processing all this information and taking certain decisions what to do with this stimuli. And for this, you need persistent attention to that particular situation. So a roof has broken down, things have also got damaged in the garden. You have a meeting you were attending, which you left because of it. So now you have to decide, do I attend to this right away? Can this wait? What if it can't wait, then what is priority? Is it the garden or is it the roof? Do I call the roof repair guy first, and then I will call the gardener or somebody who can help me fix this? Or should I first go attend the meeting, complete it, and then do all this? So all these controlled and conscious processes that come in are part of the executive attention sub-process of this entire attention. So we've seen that attention is the ability of an individual to focus on a particular stimulus from a bunch of stimuli around them, to persist in that and to create some output out of that. There are three sub-processes involved. One is alerting, which is, okay, the stimulus has come in, orienting where and how, and then fixing the visuals on that. And third is making executive decisions or keep that attention going and complete something or take some action to resolve the situation. So orientation, so we have attention, orientation, and executive attention. And in attention, there always will be automatic processes and control processes. Like in the example that we gave, if you hear a sound from outside, you automatically do this. You look, or you will at least move your head to that direction. And this is involuntary. It is coming basically from the back of the brain. It's just a reaction to a stimulus. And this cannot be controlled by you. But after you go and see what has happened, and oh my God, the roof fell down, then whatever is happening within you, as you pay attention to that particular problem, that all the things that follow are controlled. You decide whom to call, when to call, what to do, what not to do, etc., etc. These are control processes. And both automatic and control processes will be working together in order for the attention to persist. Or if you think that, okay, this is not, like something could fall out and you realize that it's very far away, you've oriented and you see it's two buildings away, it's definitely nothing to do with you. So you don't really persist in that attention after that point. So here the automatic reaction was to look, but then you did the decision, it's too far away, it's not my building, I'm not bothered. So these continuously work together to create whatever action that we are taking. And initially there was a view that these were all separate processes, but obviously with evolution and with understanding, more and more understanding of brain function, we now know that all these work together. So to summarize, attention is focusing or working with the stimulus in a group of stimuli, and it has three sub-processes: alerting, orienting, and executive attention. Attention will comprise always of automatic processes and controlled processes. So I hope this has been a good recap for you in your learning, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.